once you've understood the morality of restraining negative deeds and the morality of helping others, morality of restraining negative deeds and morality of collecting virtues, once you understood this, then you should make effort in helping others. When you are fully committed in helping others, then on certain occasions you will be permitted to do things which were restricted earlier, right? So exceptions are there. Just as we were talking about lying in general is bad, but there are occasions when it is permitted, so long as it is definitely for the well-being of others. The far-seeing, merciful ones have allowed forbidden. Then next topic is how to attract people through material gifts and through Dharma teaching. In terms of giving, there are three types of giving. First is giving material things. Second is giving Dharma teaching. Third is giving fearlessness. So this is what he's saying. How to gather or attract others through giving teaching. I should divide my food amongst those who have fallen to lower realms. It doesn't actually say lower realms. I should divide my food among those who have fallen to a lower state, like birds, dogs, and other animals who are comparing to the human life. They have a lower state. I should divide my food among those who have fallen to lower realms, like dogs and so forth, and those without protection, for example, beggars, and practitioners, meaning those who engage in very severe monastic discipline and conduct, the hermits, who stay high up in the mountain, doing just Dharma practice. Right? And then whenever you take food or take some drink, you should first make offering. Right? And eat merely what is sufficient for myself. What is sufficient for myself is eat. Don't overeat. Do you overeat? If it is delicious momo, you overeat. So they said, no, don't overeat. Don't eat too much, eat too less. If you eat too much, you will have breathing difficulty. आज मैंने इतना मोमो खाया, फिर अभी सांस भी नहीं ठीक चल रहा है. बोलते हैं ना हम लोग, ऐसा नहीं खाना चाहिए. If you divide your stomach into 4 parts, 2 parts food, 1 part water, then 1 part space for breathing, right? And if you eat too less, here luckily you don't have those problems, but in the West, there are young girls who are so concerned about their so-called figure. So people who are concerned, they are laughing. I'm joking. So people who are concerned about their figure, they really eat so less, so less, so less, and it becomes a disease called anorexia. They are like skeletons. Still, they think they are very fit, you know. They're really starving themselves. So that's wrong. Then there are others who just to become fat and big and bulky, just overeat. There's strange things are happening in this world. There are people, groups of people who are above 7 feet, groups of people who are about 7 feet, groups of people who weigh more than 150 kilos, like the sumo fighters in Japan. Oh, there's no limit to madness. Really, there's no limit. Right? And eat merely what is sufficient for myself. Monastics. In the case of monastics, you should give everything, but not the 3 robes. Sugar, namjar, also for 3 robes. Right? This body which is being used for the dharma should not be harmed for only slight benefit. By my behaving in this way, the wishes of all beings will be quickly fulfilled. Your body is really important. It's minimum for your practice. So therefore, again, it's important to follow the middle way. Follow the middle way, just as the Buddha did. Buddha undertook 6 years of hardship, austerity. He also became like a skeleton. And then he realized this is just self-modification. Right? Earlier he was a prince at his disposal. So that was also one extreme. Then 6 years hardship practice, turning him into almost like a skeleton. That he also realized that is also one extreme. Then he started eating food. Then he came up with this idea of middle way. So in terms of your thinking, it should be middle way. In terms of your daily life, it should be middle way. In terms of your food, in terms of your house, also it should be middle. It should not be too luxurious, right? It should not be too luxurious. Now, these days in many countries, people are crazy. Those people who have money. Once I visited Miami, friend arranged my stay with some other monks in a very nice mansion in an island, and I was told that the owner of that person probably stay in that house maybe 1 week in a year. Other houses like that. क्या फायदा? There is no limit, right? And also, you should not starve yourself unnecessarily. So don't harm your body for insignificant purposes. So if you live this kind of way of life, then you can really be able to help all of the beings. Those who lack the pure intention of convention should not give their body a future lives. They should give it to the cause of fulfillment purpose. So sometimes in some spiritual practices, in the name of spiritual practice, they harm their body. For example, they jump from a higher place on a trident and then kill themselves. Then they say, you go to nirvana, or enlightenment, whatever they call it. So there are many unhealthy moral practices which should be discouraged. Which should be discouraged. Then also in terms of your teaching, Dharma should not be explained to those who lack respect, to those who, like sick men, wear cloth around their heads, to those holding umbrella sticks or with covered head. Meaning that when you're listening to the teaching, you should be really very respectful in terms of your clothing, your behavior. You should not be like stretching your leg towards the teacher or the Buddha, right? Or having your hair. So these exceptions are always there. But otherwise, you should not unnecessarily do those things which is disrespectful. Nor to a woman unaccompanied by men, the vast and profound should not be taught to beings. I mean, although should always pay equal respect to the Dharma of the lesser and higher beings. So that means even in terms of giving teaching, especially in the case of not only monk of course, but also layperson, lay teacher, it is not advisable to teaching just to one woman in a single room. Danger enhancement. Right? So all these things are there. That's what he's saying. And then also do not teach about emptiness and so forth for somebody whose mind is not at all prepared. Give teaching according to their need. I don't know what is your need. There are so many people. But as much as possible, try to explain the teaching in such a way that people are able to learn many things. The vast and profound should not be taught to lesser beings means the Mahayana teachings should not be given to somebody with inferior mind like the Savakas and Patika Buddhas who don't have any interest in emptiness or bodhicitta. So don't talk about emptiness and bodhicitta to people who have no interest. And similarly, you should not explain the vast and profound. Vast means the various stages of the path, and profound means emptiness. I should not communicate the Dharma for a lesser being to one who is a vessel for the vast Dharma. I must not forsake the Bodhisattva way of life, nor mislead others by means of sutras or mantras. Meaning that you should give teaching according to the mental capacity and disposition of the students or the listeners, right? And should not give such teachings which is difficult to understand, which will put off other people, right? Like tantra or higher things. When I spit or throw away the stick for cleaning my teeth, I should cover it up with earth. Also, it is shameful to urinate and so forth in water or on land used by others. Again, whether you are spitting or throwing the toothbrush or something, it should not be thrown in public places. Or you should cover it nicely and don't urinate in public places. Sometimes we do find many people urinating by the roadside, which is very bad. And especially on green grasses where people see it, or waters which people use. discouraged. Then when you eat food, how should you eat your food? So from this verse onwards is talking about not to do those things which will create disbelief, which will make other people lose their faith. This is a very important comment. Whatever you are doing, make sure that this will not contribute to the unhappiness of mind of other people, which will contribute towards people losing the faith. Should not do this. So, for example, in terms of eating, when you eat the food, when eating, I should not fill my mouth. कई लोग पूरा माउथ को फिल करके eat noisily कैसे कहते हैं? And with my mouth wide open. I should not sit with my legs outstretched, nor rub my hands together. This sounds still a little bit stupid, but it's not saying don't rub your hands like this, but due to disrespectfulness, if you do like this, things like that, you should not do. Right? Similarly, I should not sit alone in vehicles or upon beds or in a room with the women of others. In brief, having observed or inquired about what is proper, I should not do anything that would be disliked by the people of the world. And in today's tourist guide also, they'll tell you if you visit Japan, this is the things you can do, this is the things you can't do. So you should understand those customs as much as possible. I should not give directions with one finger, but instead indicate the way respectfully with my right arm, with all my fingers fully outstretched. If you want to show the direction to somebody, you should not say, idhar jao, idhar, udhar, udhar. Or on left hand say, idhar jao, aisa nahi. I say, with all four fingers. This direction makes difference, you see. Nor should I wildly wave my arms about, but should make my point with slight gestures and snap of fingers. Otherwise, I shall lose control. That means when you are taking down some pots or some other articles, then you should not do it with your hand moving violently, but move it gently. And then if you want to bring the attention of somebody, then you should snap the finger. Snap the finger. This is not a normal great Buddhist teaching, so I don't do all these things. This is a lecture series. But otherwise, the great teachers, when they come for teaching, they do 3 prostrations, right? Why do they do 3 prostrations? They do these 3 prostrations to cultivate humility. Because as soon as you sit on the religious throne, you might get puffed up. So to reduce arrogance. Then having sat on the throne, the first thing the teacher does is I can do like this also.
And then also, have you seen the monks debating? When the monks debate, we want to get up actually. Maybe. I'll show you, demonstrate you a little bit. So when the monks debate, they do like this. So let us say you all are there to answer my questions. So I am the questioner, right? So what I do is I come gently like this with my robes properly. Oh dear, the tina cover the tina. Tina, you have a rosary? Yeah, yeah. So I come gently like this, then I'll say, Chidar Choche. Then I do like this, you see, like this. Like this. Chidar Choche. This round rosary symbolizes cycle of existence, samsara. So when you pull it like this hand goes down, saying that I will put an end to the samsara, I will block the door of samsara and liberate all sentient beings to nirvana, pulling nirvana. Right? That's the meaning. Then when you clear your hand, Dichita means, Dichita means suchness, emptiness is the topic. Emptiness is the topic. Did you hear is the sound produced by two hands or one hand? Right, interdependent origination. Things coming to being by two or many things coming together, not just by one hand. Second, how long did the sound last? Very short. This is teaching about impermanence. Like this sound, we are also not here to stay for very, very long. Right? So there's the process. And then gradually you will try this. Now you are becoming a little bit aggressive, you want to fight. Huh? So you do like this, now you are ready to go into the battlefield of debating. Then what is impermanence? Tell me. Like that. So the purpose of this debate is to find out the truth. So the questions that they ask can be on many topics. One topic, for example, for our easier understanding, let us say tree. So what's the meaning of a tree? Answer. What's the meaning of tree? I'm not asking about emptiness, tree. Tree is something that leaves, branches. Okay, what about that tree which has just been cut down and lying on the? Is that a tree? Huh? What about if I chop some of the leaves and the branches? Is it still a tree? Huh? So like that. So go into details to be able to really find out what is tree. This is just an example. Then there are two schools of thinking regarding what should be your expression when you debate. One school says, when you debate, you should carry a smile on your face. What's the meaning of tree? Because you are practicing Buddhism, whose foundation is compassion. That should be reflected on your face, right? That's one kind of manner. Second manner says, when you debate, you are trying to remove ignorance, the enemy. You can't be just there smiling and be nice. Come on. little bit forceful, right? So these are some possibilities. So the important thing is you need to always ask questions to other people and also ask questions to yourself and find the answer for yourself. Inner dialogue, all those things should be there. So this is a very important Buddhist process of practice. Then why neglect this end? It is said that if you activate the nerves related to the brain, it increases your wisdom. Do you recite the mantra Omar Basana Didi Didi Didi? It really helps make you more eloquent. This is strange, right? It's really interesting, right? Okay. Oh, they call it. Verse 96. Just as the Buddha lay down to pass away, so should I lie in desired direction when going to sleep. And first of all, with alertness, make the firm decision to quickly rise again. So when you sleep also it is preferred to sleep on the right side, not on the left side where you have your heart. And I may be wrong, but my experience is when I sleep on the left side, I get nightmares, strange dreams. And also sleeping on the back is very comfortable for me, but that is also not encouraged. And then sleeping with face down is suffocating yourself, right? So regarding these things, there are a lot of scientific findings also. But in the Buddhist teaching, it says you should sleep like a lion, and sleep with the motivation that I will sleep, nourish my body, and get up early in the morning. Don't sleep by thinking, आज तो मैं खूब सोऊंगा, कल 10 बजे तक मैं सो जाऊंगा, ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए. And if you're tired, then there is a different thing. But otherwise, if you get a little bit early, it's better. And you can pick up that habit very easily. Right? Although I am unable to practice all, meaning that it's not possible for me to practice all the bodhisattva way of life, the limitless varieties of bodhisattva conduct, I should certainly practice as that is what I have been saying. Practice as much as possible has been mentioned here of this conduct that trains the mind. So although I am unable to practice, that means in terms of perfect practice, is saying that although I am not able to practice all, means the 6 perfections, the 4 ways of gathering the students, they are immeasurable practice of bodhisattva. So as a beginner like me, I will not be able to practice all of them, but as much as possible, I will engage in the practice of training my mind. Right? And in case while you are practicing, if you engage in some breaking the rules, right, then it's important to confess it. And again, you should receive the bodhisattva vow. And whatever other minor infractions and faults you commit, you should try to confess it 3 times a day, 3 times a night. 3 times by day and 3 times by night, I should recite the sutras of the 3 hips. For by relying upon the Buddhas and awakening mind, by remaining down, my remaining downfalls will be purified.
whatever I am doing in any situation, whether for myself or for the benefit of others, I should strive to put into practice whatever has been taught or for that situation. Right? So you should practice with conviction. There is no such thing as something that is not learned by the conqueror's son. Thus, if I'm skilled in living in this way, nothing will be non-meritorious. So that means for a bodhisattva, there is nothing that he should not study, should not train, because he is out there to benefit all sentient beings, and the need of sentient beings are many, right? So even if you're teaching computer or teaching English, whatever, it is to benefit others. With that motivation, if you help them, then that also becomes a bodhisattva practice. It is clearly said in the Sutra Alankara by Maitreya that unless you get trained in all the 5 major subjects, you will not be able to get enlightened. So it means medicine, study this, study that, and so forth. This is a general statement. But then there are occasions when you specialize, then of course you are, for example, if you are meditating in a cave, you are not supposed to study astrology, medicine, things like that. So it depends on the situation. So there is no such thing as something that is not studied by the bodhisattvas. So when a bodhisattva spends his life in this way, then there is nothing that will be non-virtuous. See, everything will become virtuous if you have this motivation. Giving one mouthful of food to a hungry dog, or teaching ABCD to some small kids, right? So many occasions are there to help others. It's not just giving money. So many ways of helping others. There are so many people who are in many ways much less fortunate than yourself. So take advantage of that and share your knowledge, share your expertise, share your experience to help them, to benefit them. Whether directly or indirectly, I should not do anything that is not for the benefit of others. And solely for the sake of sentient beings, I should dedicate everything towards awakening. So directly or indirectly, you should do nothing other than benefiting others. And since it is only for the benefit of sentient beings, every time you do something good, you should dedicate it to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Just as you have been reciting, and when the session finishes, rejoice and dedicate that virtue for the benefit of all sentient beings. When the retreat finishes also, then you should think, rejoice. I'm lucky I attended this retreat, so I dedicate this virtue to benefit all sentient beings. Right? Never, even at the cost of my life, should I forsake a spiritual friend who is wise in the meaning of the great vehicle and who is great bodhisattva practitioner. So it is hard to find, but in case if you found a spiritual teacher who is really learned in the Mahayana teachings and who always conducts the discipline of bodhisattva, never give up such a spiritual teacher. Stay in touch with such a spiritual teacher. If you don't know how to do it, then read the biography of Shri Sambhava. I should practice entrusting myself to my spiritual master in the manner taught in the biography of Shri Sambhava. This and other advice spoken by the Buddha, I can understand through reading the sutras. Because unless you have some kind of faith, it's not possible to develop any virtuous qualities. Tebo mebe minamla karvachanan minjungde sama mei meaning that the person who is devoid of faith, religious practices are impossible. Just like green sprouts will never arise, green plants will never arise from a burnt seed. If the seed is burnt, then don't expect green shoots. Right? When you develop this faith, then the mental impurities are removed. Your mind becomes clear. Your mind becomes receptive for teachings. Right? Therefore, all your practices must be preceded by cultivation of faith, just like the mother to her children. Right? But there are two types of faith. Faith of people who are intelligent and faith of those people who are not so intelligent. Faith of people who are not so intelligent, they develop faith or devotion more or less out of blind faith, which is not very reliable. Sometimes it can be very dangerous. You might get devoted to some wrong teaching, wrong teacher, which will lead to the ruination of your life. So, as a follower of the teaching of the Mahayana, we should develop the faith of the intelligent people. Faith of the intelligent people means intelligent people, they will first listen. Then they scrutinize, analyze whether this teaching sounds correct, not correct, because you also have this smart brain, analyze it. Right? So through scrutiny, analysis, if you develop the faith, then you can never be cheated. Right? Right? Therefore, it's really important to use your brain. And faith in general, there are three types of faith. First is called Dhamma, clear faith. Dhamma. Clear faith means faith similar like the wish to get water by somebody who is very thirsty. When somebody who is very thirsty, then his really mind is completely towards water. Mind is very clear towards clear faith. Then second is called, I'm making wrong interpretation. So clear faith means like the attitude of a person, like the attitude of a lustful person to a beautiful woman. Clear faith. Day and night he thinks about that woman. So your mind is very clear about that object. That's clear faith. Dhamma. The second is called trusting faith, just like the trust of a baby to his or her mother. The mother may be educated, not educated, but the child has complete faith, thinking that my mother can do everything for me. And it is because of this faith and bond, the mother somehow really does everything possible for the child. And third is aspiring faith. Aspiring faith. That is like a person who is thirsty, looking for water, wishing to get water as soon as possible. So in your spiritual practice also, that kind of aspiring faith must be there. Clear faith, trusting faith, aspiring faith. Three types of faith. I should read the sutras. Do you read sutras? You should read sutras. The direct teaching of the Buddha. I should read sutras because it is from them that the practices appear. To begin with, I should look at the Sutra of Akash Garbha. So just like the sutra of the Sri Sambhava, which we read in verse 103, similarly you should read other sutras, and based on that you should know how to relate to a spiritual teacher and understand the precepts of a bodhisattva. And particularly by reading sutras, you will be able to understand the various practices of a bodhisattva. Therefore, you should read the sutras. Particularly, you should read the Bodhisattva Akashgarbha Sutra, because there it explains about the 18 root infractions of Bodhisattva and how to, if you commit that infraction, how to set it right. So, because you are now planning to practice bodhicitta, therefore first you should read that sutra. Right? And in short, in addition, I should definitely read the commentary of practices again and again. The commentary of practice is a text again composed by Shantideva, where he speaks about how to guard your body, how to guard, then give, then enhance, and then develop in terms of your body. 4 practice in terms of your body, 4 practice in terms of your wealth, your enjoyment, how to protect them, how to give them, how to increase them, how to enhance them. And then similarly, virtues, good things that you have done, how to guard them, protect them, how to give them, share them, how to multiply them, develop them. It's very interestingly explained in this Shiksha Samuchaya. In Hindi it is called Shiksha Samuchaya, Compendium of Precepts by Shantideva. Because what is to be constantly practiced is very well and extensively shown there. Also, I should sometimes look at the condensed commentary of all sutras. And I should make an effort to study the works by the same 2 titles composed by Arya Nagarjuna. I should do whatever is not forbidden in those works, and when I see a practice there, I should impeccably put it into action in order to guard the minds of all living beings. So whatever is not objective, you should practice it. And the most important thing is you should really consider about the needs of others. दूसरों के बारे में सोचो हमेशा. And to make sure that you are on the right track, you should always repeatedly investigate the state of your body, state of your mind. The defining practice of guarding alertness in brief is only this: what? To examine again and again the condition of my body and my mind. मेरा शरीर क्या कर रहा है? मेरे मुंह से क्या बोल रहा है? मेरे मन में क्या सोच रहा है? इसी को ही देखना, और कुछ नहीं करना तुमने. To summarize, right? Make sure that your body, speech, and mind don't go to the wrong direction. And therefore, the final verse of this chapter is, in short, you should practically implement these teachings. Just talking about it's of no use. Therefore, I shall put this way of life into actual practice, for what can be achieved by merely talking about it? Will a sick man be benefited merely by reading the medical text, not eating the medicine? No. ठीक है ना? मैंने पहले बोला था ना, बिना शोर मचाए चुपचाप अपने काम को पूरा करो. झांझू से में from the Bodhisattva way of life. This is chapter 5, guarding alertness. Takawales. Tatu dua. Kamu just dua. Chapter 6, very interesting chapter. Chapter 4, 5, 6, you should read them later on, and also 7. These are very, very good chapters. Practice of giving, patience. Because anger and hatred are the things that come repeated in our mind, and if they come, all our virtuous practices will be destroyed. So therefore, the first thing that he is asking us is to give up anger. Can you give up anger? Huh? Somebody quickly said no. Somebody, that was very sweet. No. Can you give up anger? Huh? Possible, slowly. But you can reduce anger. You can reduce anger. Whatever wholesome deeds, such as venerating the Buddha and practice of generosity that have been amassed over 1,000 years, will be destroyed in one moment of anger. Just like 3-4 बोरे से भरा हुआ उठा के यहाँ रख दो, उसको माचिस लगा दो, 1 मिनट में सब जल जाएगा. Why? Why anger is bad? Anger is bad because Buddha's teaching, especially the Mahayana teaching, is rooted in compassion. And anger is against compassion. Financially also, now these days we need to talk about financial stability. Financially also, America, for example, loses billions of dollars through anger. How? Because of anger, there is shooting in the classroom, killing each other, shooting in the street. Because of anger, there is road rash and accident. Right? It's very expensive. What is the job of anger? The job of anger is to destroy. Anger is like a conflagration of fire. Conflagration of fire. The job of conflagration of fire is to burn and destroy things. Likewise, when you get angry, it is for destruction, not for construction. Right? There was there's the story of a father and his son. The son was very hot-tempered. He gets angry easily. He gets excited very easily. Then the father always said, no, don't get angry. It's very harmful for you. Then the son tried to listen to his father and tried to reduce it. So it became less and less. And then the father said, every time you get angry, you put one nail in a fence. It's a very strong wooden fence, very strong one. Put a nail there. Every time you get angry, put a nail. And every day when you are without anger, pull one nail out. So he did this, and after a while, for many days, he did not get angry. He was able to take all the nails out. Then he said, Father, I succeeded. No anger. The father said, yes, that's wonderful, but look at the holes. Look at the hole that has been created when you got angry, you see. See, already when you hurt others, made holes in the heart of other people. It's very difficult to patch up. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, on a simpler note, when you get angry, you become ugly. So, in a challenging note, I'm telling you, if you really want to get ugly, get angry. Get angry, बाल भी मत बनाओ और इधर कुछ लगाओ नहीं डरावने वाला है ना you should create yourself like a witch or a मैन को क्या बोलते हैं ghost or something हाँ
इसको आप मुंह मत लगाओ, ये पागल है बेचारा, बोलता है ना वो, तो वही पागल आप बन गया अभी गुस्सा होकर के। तो पागल मीन्स, mad means somebody whose mind is not functioning. And when you get angry, your mind stops functioning. Right? You are not sure what you are saying, क्या भाग रहा है पता नहीं आपको. Right? And a clear indication of that is when your anger cools down, you feel ashamed. So much so that then next the person with whom you picked up a fight, you have to avoid that person. जिससे मैंने लड़ा तो वो वहां से आ रहा है, देखो यहाँ से चले गए. अब कहाँ तक घूमते फिरते रहेंगे आप, इसे भी लड़ा उसे भी लड़ा, और ले छोड़ के जाना है क्या? It's really something like that, you see. So very bad, very bad, very bad. इसमें बहुत सारा लिखा है, लेकिन use your common sense, see what the science says, see what the ordinary people say, their experience. We all have experience, right? जब आप गुस्सा थे फिर आपने क्या किया? तोड़फोड़ किया नहीं किया? अपने बाल खींचा नहीं खींचे? कई लोग तो गुस्सा हो जाता अपने बाल नोचता. So, what about wholesome deeds such as venerating the Buddha and generosity that have been amassed over 1,000 eons will be destroyed in one moment of anger? There is no evil like hatred and no fortitude like patience. So the counterforce against hatred and anger is patience. Thus I should strive in various ways to meditate on patience.